On the 25th of October 1944, Kirita's Center Force, consisting of some of Japan's largest warships at the time, engaged a small United States task force called Taffy 3, and a rather interesting claim was made by the United States. This was, the Japanese were effectively firing a rainbow at them. One of the most known features at the Battle off Samar is that the Japanese were firing shells that left behind colors in splashes or in bursts in the sky. But there's a lot of controversy surrounding these shells, and the first one is, did they actually exist? The answer is yes. The way the Japanese did it is they'd place colored dye into the cap of the shell, since this is a hollow point, and upon exploding, the dye would conform to the shape of the wave or cloud left behind. Now, Japan was not the only navy to possess the colored shells. The United States, Britain, France had also used these shells on their ships, while the Soviet Union experimented with them, though it appears they were never placed on their warships. So this begs an obvious question: if most of the world's major navies are using colored shells, what's their purpose? Modern historians often claim that the shells were used to credit a kill to a warship. However, this is actually false. The colored shells were used for range finding. A problem that would occur in a scenario such as the Center Force at the Battle off Samar is you have a wide variety of large caliber guns shooting on a rather small selection of enemy warships. This means multiple ships with large caliber guns are going to shoot on the same vessel, and they need to be able to tell which shells are theirs so that they can make proper adjustments to the guns. For example, Yamato and Kongo can fire on the USS Johnston, and if the shells are not distinct from each other, Yamato could actually input shells that were actually from Kongo, meaning it's now throwing its guns further off target than it was before. This problem would be avoided having the shell splashes distinct colors. For example, Yamato would be red, and Kongo would be white. Now, when we move over to the anti-aircraft department, the situation becomes a little bit more mysterious and ultimately confusing. Following World War II, the Japanese Navy had very limited information on colored burst shells for their AA guns, and there were only a handful of examples found. There was also trouble in finding personnel who had knowledge about the anti-aircraft guns possessing colored shells. However, there were a series of officers that knew about the shells quite well, and often claimed that the most common colors were black, white, and red, as these were easy to see on the sunlight. The only anti-aircraft gun that anyone could confirm used the colored burst shells was the Type 89 12.7 centimeter or 5-inch high-angle guns. But a whole new problem comes up in discussing which ships had these shells and which colors were on which ships. This is an answer we simply don't know. We are aware that the battleship Musashi received colored burst shells, as a survivor claimed that she received a rather large supply, though he never specified the color. Many assume it's safe to say that at least the 5 battleships, Yamato, Musashi, Nagato, Kongo, and Haruna, received colored burst shells for its 5-inch guns. However, this could also potentially extend to the heavy cruisers, since they have a pretty hefty amount of these weapons as well. So, what is the purpose of the Type 89 possessing color in its burst shells? This answer is very similar to the main battery guns. Historians often claim that it is to credit a ship with an aerial kill, and once again, this is false. It is to cause a distinct mark between ships, as if a series of ships are shooting on one set of aircraft, they need to be able to tell which bursts are from their guns, and the colors are going to help do this. As I briefly mentioned in the AA section, the Japanese used a specific set of colors, being black, white, and red, though there may have been yellows and greens. This also applies to the main battery guns, so the battle is often misrepresented in this section as being any color the Japanese could select on the palette was good enough to go. You did not want to select colors that would blend in with the background, aka the ocean and sky, and you did not want colors that would be covered up by sunlight. You would also want to use colors that did not look similar at 20 to 30,000 meters distance, such as red and pink, or gray and black. With that being said, that is all I have to say on this topic for today. So, if you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like and comment down below, and have a wonderful day.